We appreciate the school board and the community for the support to create new opportunities for learning in our school. We are excited about the positive impact this new addition will have on our students. We are so appreciative of our school, of our community's support to receive this addition.
Thank you guys for taking time out of your day to come here. Do you have any questions?
What's the best part of the new playground space?
I like the blacktop
Yeah.
because there's a lot of room to play basketball when the ground is muddy and we can't play soccer.
Makes sense. Do you girls have anything you want to add?
We are very impressed with your maturity in speaking. And I like how you said Indian Hills is blessed with hills, because when we talk about facility, that usually doesn't come up.
Come on up here. Board members, if you want to stand up, and kids, if you want to stand right in front, we'll get that commemorative photo. Yes, teachers, you get to be in it too. Right in front, scoot right back to the table there.
Yeah.
Hamilton Parsons, your turn's next.
Yeah, the tall boy has to stand in front of Mike.
Okay.
Are you in? Yes. Okay. I'm just on my tippy toes. I don't think so. Come in, Gus.
All right, Hamilton Parsons, Bulldogs, come on up. Right here in front.
Yep.
Scoot in there. Fourth and fifth graders, scoot back. We'll get the first graders in front of you.
Did we? Yeah, that's my mark.
Scoot down this way just a little bit. There you go.
Keep coming.
Perfect. Good. You're good.
Turn.
Oh, the roller coaster.
Teach us the roller coaster.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you again, everybody, for coming out tonight. We'll give you a break, a quick break. If you want to head on with your evening, you're welcome to stay if you'd like.
They're all leaving us.
Hard drive, but it's not liking my password. Is it OneDrive? It is. Gmail. It's just not doing it.
The parking lot was full. It was full.
It's so nice, Todd. It's nice bringing them all together.
Yes.
It just feels good, you know.
It's always good when the students are here. It's always good. Oh, yeah.
Okay, Mrs. Bonick, I think we can move on.
All right. Can I have a motion for tonight's consent action?
Support.
Moved by Dr. Demas, supported by Mr. Connor. Are there any questions on the general fund bills, financial reports, the wire transfer, purchasing card expenditures, the minutes from the regular meeting on September 23rd, the special meeting on September 30th, and the workshop meeting on October 14th? Any questions, concerns?
No.
Seeing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Moving on to informational updates, new business.
So just, we get a little different in our routine because of the holidays in November and December. So I just felt it was important to remind the public that our regular meeting In November is November 11th, and in December is December 9th. So the second Monday will be our regular meetings for the next 2 months due to the holidays.
Are
That's
those
it.
dates correct? Because November 3rd is a Sunday.
What's that?
Are those dates correct? Because I know the November 3rd is a Sunday.
I think so. I think the 11th is a Monday. The 11th is a Monday.
Yes.
I'm looking at the screen.
Yeah. But here's November 3rd is a Sunday and the 11th is a
Yeah,
Monday.
it says Finance Subcommittee November 3rd. I'm assuming that's November 4th.
Oh, you're looking down there. I thought you were
Haven't
talking about
got
the
there yet.
regular meetings.
Nope.
Okay. So finance is Monday, the 4th.
Yes.
Yes. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you.
We had one committee report from the safety committee.
Yes.
Okay, so we met on October 7th. We had some discussion items with the new Director of Safety and Security, Mr. Mike Thomas. Mr. Thomas was able to share an overview of his initial first weeks on the jobs. He was very, very pleased, and he felt extremely welcome and very impressed with the level of preparedness and commitment to our school safety at Romeo. He mentioned that he has to serve as the substitute when a Shield employee has to be absent due to a limited substitute manager pool. So that pulls him, but that keeps our Shield employees at full capacity at all times. This has impacted a little bit of his ability to get all he desires to do, but we have to have full staff at all times. He has gone to every single building. He reviewed the landscape of the buildings, all of the safety plans already, and initial meetings with all of the principals. Additionally, Mr. Thomas has taken part of the AVERT training, and he'll be attending the behavioral assessment training in late October. So the annual district safety focus areas are progress update, facility awareness. We discussed different fire, EMT, police touring of all the buildings within their jurisdictions to become familiar with the buildings. But we still need to get Bruce Township Fire Department into the facilities outside of their jurisdiction. Our tabletop outcomes, we had held a conversation with the district safety team and our emergency representative teams. Next step is to hold a discussion with our full district leadership group. We are still scheduling this due to conflicts with the administration. So a lot of times we can't get out of the buildings on the day of the district leadership team, so we're working on that. We discussed the fine tuning of our reunification processes. There's a lot of moving parts there. Incident command is a future area of focus for us both internally and externally with our responders. Our bus drivers took part in visiting all of the reunification sites prior to the start of the 24-25 school year. Our cardiac response, we've gone over this with the new district nurse. We'll review the district safety team and set a plan for the updating of that, and we'll let you know. The new Macomb County EOP, Emergency Operations Plan, it was made in 2017, updated once since then with different language such as secure and hold. District EOP should be reviewed every 2 years and has been and be submitted for board approval. That will be coming to our subcommittee soon, and it should be done by the end of the calendar year. So other items, what should an initial emergency communication include? This can vary due to the circumstances and adhering to FERPA, due process, and any law enforcement investigation. The team is working towards putting some standard protocols together around emergency communications to include draft communications for better communication. Discussed communication to staff, including lunch volunteers, when they are potential individuals that we should be aware of our safety procedures and purposes. So it's kind of a liquid situation, and we're learning from every situation that we encounter. Thank you.
I would just
Questions?
add to that, I know we've had some emails since then about some concerns about deliveries and a situation that arose at one of our elementaries during a lunch hour that seemed not as secure as it should be. And just to assure the public and talk about that. So there was a discussion on if there is a threat or something that you perceive as a potential threat that you should call directly to law enforcement and not leave messages at a board office or an office that might not receive that until it opens or until a secretary is back to check voicemail. So that is just a discussion I know that we've seen in our emails amongst us, and want to let the public know that as well.
Thank you. Superintendent's report.
Yeah, just to clarify, Mrs. Eichhorst, thanks for catching my typo. 3 subcommittee meetings in November. Finance on November 4th, Policy on November 13th, and the Curriculum Subcommittee on November 25th. So look for communication from your cabinet level leader, and we'll move forward with those agendas and holding those meetings. Academic services.
Good evening. Sorry, my voice is a little bit scratchy, evidently, at the end of the day. Too much talking. Just wanted to update the board on a few things. From an elementary perspective, we are fortunate again this year to be awarded grant funds from the L&L Foundation to continue building our STEM programming. This year, we technically are out of their cycle, but they of 2 years, 3 years, but they have now extended their offerings into like maintenance type grants, in the sense of a lot of the work that we've done in the prior 3 years have allowed us to really have like good foundation of infrastructure. But because kids are loving on all of the things that we have, I mean, they break and they get old and they wear out. And so we did apply again for a grant this year, and we're awarded $10,000 to continue to make purchases again to enhance what we have and also potentially replace or remodel some of the equipment that we have. We really couldn't have done this STEM work or got to the point that we're at now without the L&L Foundation. And so I just want to give a big shout out to them. We appreciate their continued advocacy for putting science, technology, engineering, and math into our elementary schools. So big win there. November 6th, for anybody who's watching or will be watching later, parents, just a reminder, there's no school on the 6th. We do have professional learning for our teachers. At the elementary level, we are working to, are you putting in your calendar right now? Yeah, every once in a while we'll have folks show up. It just gets lost in translation with the busyness of life. It's all good. If I hadn't been there myself, I couldn't laugh at it. Anyways, we have PD for teachers on the 6th. Have a full plate of things to tackle, from ELA to math, to culture, just all of the things that we currently have up in the air right now. So we're excited to have the day planned, allow for some collaboration time, and get better as an organization. And then last for me is our math pilot updates. I know we've talked a little bit about how the process started with visioning what math should look like in Romeo, working in conjunction with the ISD. That was our group that worked through that process was made up of central office administrators, building administrators, coaches, and our teachers. Once we got a vision set, we really had to kind of condense the thoughts down into a series of look-fors, right? Things that we really want out of a curriculum based on, what teachers are seeing in the classroom, what they know about kids. Again, with the help of the ISD and folks within the district, we have a nice set that was provided to 3 vendors that we have coming in at the elementary level on November 20th. So they can best prepare for the presentation. Each vendor will have 50 minutes to basically show us what their product can offer based on what we're looking for. And then we hope to take hopefully 2 to pilot into the winter and into the spring, and then work through the subcommittee process, and then a full board to get approval in the spring. So we're excited. Our current math program is 8 years old. 9 years old. So while there's still some good in it, it's a little bit tired, and so it's time for us to take a look and move forward. So questions for me?
Who will be part of that viewing on the 20th?
Who will be part of it? Actually, everybody from the elementary level who was on our visioning team.
Okay.
Look For's team was a little bit smaller, only because we didn't need 30 people in the room to really condense the
So
list
I'm
down.
assuming teachers are included.
Oh,
in that.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. The folks who again, were part of that first process, and we were all together K-12 for the visioning piece. We'll split up Jennifer will handle 612, excuse me, and then we'll have teachers in with the vendors at the elementary level, K-5, to help make a decision on what's going to be piloted. Trying to follow a similar format to what we did with CKLA, we hope to get teachers who aren't piloting in the room as well, right, to take a look at lessons being taught and then provide us feedback about what they're excited about, what they're worried about, what they could be concerned about, and take all of that feedback into consideration too before a decision is made.
Okay, some exciting updates on both our secondary academies. The month of October is a ton of work at our 1012 building, Manufacturing Week, first week in October. We had kids go out to KUKA, Lands-In, Sharp Tooling, Paslin, and Luckmar Plastics. Mr. Anderson took his IT kids to the Michigan Cyber Summit. The juniors in the Law and Public Safety visited the Macomb County Jail. And we had Career Day last Wednesday. So November, we continue the industry tours with our 10th graders. The business occupations class are going to go to Magna, Michigan Sports Broadcasters. So our VPC class is going to go to Ford Field. We have our Academy Advisory Board meeting on November 7th. And then we have a bunch of firehouse visits for our health occupations in the mid-November before Thanksgiving. And then the big thing for 9th grade, they're going to visit I don't know what the name of it is. It used to be Novi Expo Center. I don't know, a Suburban Showcase or whatever, on November 19th. So we'll have 12 buses of 9th grade children going out to Career Quest. So we have a busy couple of months continuing our work with the academies. One cool thing, I set a copy of this at your desk. So Dr. Robinson saw an article in the Macomb Daily probably end of September. So Eva Dawson, being our full-time CTE director, jumped on it and reached out to Macomb Community College. And Rich Bojo, myself, and Eva had a virtual meeting with Dr. Patrick Roos, I believe is his name, that is coordinating this. Macomb got millions of dollars grant from the U.S. Navy. Currently, they need to build more submarines, apparently. So they need some welders and some CNC people. So with this grant, they bought new equipment, and they're starting an accelerated program for 17 weeks. So Rich and Eva and I are actually going to go visit the MTech on November 5th. But Eva got the flyer and sent it out to our recent graduates. And one of them actually registered, and he wasn't sure if he got in, but he was fitted for a uniform and he has a stall number. So I believe he's in. So hopefully we'll have some updates once he starts that accelerated program. But we're really excited to be able to give another opportunity, post high school if some of our students want to get in a program through Macomb. I'm trying to think what else. Work-based learning is now the focus for second semester. So I know Eva is working the phones and working our partners and thinking more internal as well with some different departments. We already have an intern team. You met them last year. They're a new group this year with Marianne Brush. So we're looking at different ways that maybe some of our kids could do internal work-based learning. I think that's it for the high school. Middle school updates. Really exciting work. We continue to work on our profile of a middle school scholar. Jen Racevich is our academy coach now, so she's busy getting nonprofit and community-based partners for our nonprofit exploration fair in February. So every time she gets a new partner, I get a text, and we have leader dogs for the blind was one of them, and can they bring their dog? So she's working hard to find these partners, and she's reaching out to them immediately, when they respond in the Google form. She's offered to go meet with them, but a lot of them maybe don't have a storefront, or they have a day job, and this is something they do, in their after hours. So we're working through that. Lots of connections are being made with some of the activities that we already do. It's October. They're actually doing a candy collection. I forget the organization that they're working with. They're going to ship it overseas to folks in the military. We actually have a meeting tomorrow after school, bringing back our tactic co-chairs together to see the progress that we've made and ask for some help from some of them. November 8th, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, there's going to be the Academy name reveal for the students. So names haven't been revealed to the students. They're still 6A, 6B, 6C. So they've created an assembly with some competitions and games, and they're very excited to be able to have the kids find out their team name versus a letter of the alphabet. And then we have on November 13th and 14th, we have our process champions with Capturing Kids' Hearts. So there'll be a small group of Romeo Middle teachers and Ham-Par teachers on the 13th that will dive deeper into the work of Capturing Kids' Hearts. And then on the 14th, the strategist that will be here will do a site visit. So she'll be at Romeo Middle in the morning and visit Ham-Par in the afternoon just to go around, see Capturing Kids' Hearts in action, and give the good news, as our first graders modeled from Ham-Par, and give some suggestions for how to continue the momentum and the work. And I think that's it for the Academy updates. Any questions about those two before I move to the November 6th PD or the math secondary pilot? Not too late if you didn't say you wanted to come on November 7th. Starts at 5:45. So if you're interested, we're in the Commons at the 1012 building. It's a Mediterranean menu made by our culinary students. Please feel free, stop by, get something to eat, see the progress that we've made. November 6th, Mr. Murray talked about elementary planning again. Middle school and high school are creating the agendas, co-creating with the needs in mind of the teachers. Middle school will have their avert safety training because we had Capturing Kids' Hearts at the beginning of the year. So they'll do that. And then the high school has some, again, department PLC time. And then they'll continue their little kind of mini teacher-led sessions based on what the staff has expressed they need. And then our math pilot update, we actually are bringing our 3 vendors on November 7th, because it wasn't already enough fun with the Academy advisory reports. So we'll have 3 vendors, and we have, I think, 6 middle school and 7 or 8 high school teachers that will be present for that, as well as Mr. Martz. He's the secondary administrator for the math content. So 3 vendors. They also have the look-fors. I have boxes that I need to distribute of sample materials. They also have given, 2 of the companies have given us access to their online version as well for teachers to get a sneak peek so they can have some context before the presentation so they can ask some really hard-hitting questions. So, any other updates? Questions? All right, thank you.
So I have just just a couple of construction updates for the board. I'm talking a lot about construction, I feel like, since August, but wanted to kind of give some perspective to landing the plane for some of our Group 2 projects. So in terms of the Croswell Playground, the new playground there, it is actually in use as of last week, and excuse me, I don't know who's more excited, the 3 and 4-year-olds or the adults who have been surviving recess without a playground. So it's just great to see children out there on the new equipment. We have one gate. We added a fence to kind of go halfway in between the playground, just when we have less staff out there and smaller groups of kids to kind of separate the playground into 2 different parts. So some fencing that we added since the original installation. We have one gate left, and then this project will be completed. The actual renovation and new addition, the final punch list process actually began today. That'll likely take a couple of months due to the, large-scale nature of the project. So we walk the building and we determine all the things that need some extra attention. And then Bart and Mallow will go back to those contractors and get them back on site to make those corrections, and we'll kind of check that off as we work our way through the list. In terms of the training and meeting room renovation, the final work, there's some final work going on this week and inspections pending. I also think we have a little bit of technology work to do for the projection system in there, but we're looking forward to getting full access to that training and meeting space, especially considering the admin building being under renovation. The renovation to the STEM room at Hevel, that project was completed last week. We had a temporary occupancy permit, so we're waiting the final occupancy permit. The addition at Amanda Moore has a late November completion date, and that's on track. The addition at Washington Elementary is looking like early January. The STEM and Robotics Center at the middle school, late December, and it looks like we're in line to open the center in conjunction with the Biting Bulldog season that's launched in January. So I'm really grateful for that, because when I went to the launch day in January last year, I told them a year from now we'll be in your new space. So I wondered if I would be able to follow through on my word, and it looks like we're going to be able to do that, right, Mr. Tolis? All right. And then the site work, we had some conversation about some soil remediation and that we had to do. So that has all been taken care of, and we're actually looking to install asphalt this week for the track, and they're continuing to work on the site work, but at some point, winter's going to say you got to wait until spring, and we're really looking at, limited access in the spring, and then when we think about next year in a mature grass field and that, we'll be able to have wider scale access there. So moving along, but trying to get as much in before winter, and then pick back up in the spring. And then finally, phase one of the admin building renovation, the third floor, I can tell you just by sound alone is progressing on schedule. And I know they're doing some painting this week, so I used to say, well, maybe we could give some sneak peek tours, but most of the admin building staff have created their own sneak peek tours. So things are looking good up there. This next round of next couple phases are really going to be interesting, because we have heating and cooling equipment that serves both the first and second floors. That has a significant amount of work, and we're not quite sure how in the middle of winter we're going to navigate that. Whereas the third floor has its own unit, so it can run separately. But we're making some plans in the next week or so here of how we're going to get ready for phase 2 and 3 as we look to the beginning of December. In terms of our group 3 work, these are the projects that are in design this year. So we have a significant site work project that's a collection of 4 of our parking lots that went out for bid this week, and we'll get through the bid process in that and be bringing that to the board at the December meeting for approval. That's the remainder of the middle school, both the east and west side and the front, Croswell, Hamilton Parsons, and Hevel. And these would be sinking fund projects. Hamilton Parsons is actually part of the 21 bond. The rest of those parking lot renovations, replacements are sinking fund, and that's summer of 2025 work. We have a package that includes fire alarm replacement at 4 of our elementary buildings and some plumbing upgrades at 3, and that's kind of in estimating right now. And then once we get out of estimating, then we can finalize and prepare for the bid process. The most significant project for to begin next summer is the classroom renovation of this building. We've also put in this bid pack some HVAC work at the 1012 building and the courtyard, I guess I would say refresh project. So design development drawings are an estimating, but this is a pretty comprehensive project, so we're really planning for January approval. So as much as, we have this thinking that we can bring something to the board in October and November and December and then January, it's going to be December and then a whole bunch in January likely. But we'll keep you informed through the subcommittee, and if we feel the need to do a committee of the whole, we certainly will. And then finally, Mr. Storm's putting the finishing touches with our roofing consultant on a pretty significant roof repair project, pretty much all at the middle school. That's part of our sinking fund renovation work. And that, once again, will be summer of '25 work. So there's a construction update on both Group 2 and Group 3. Any questions on that?
No, I just want to say thank you, Dr. Robinson, and to the whole team. That's a lot of moving parts all at once, and I appreciate the workshop that we had a couple weeks ago to really dive deep into all these bullet points.
Yep.
So it was very helpful.
Thank you. That's all I have, Mrs. Bonick.
Thank you. I don't have any public comment on any topics that we're discussing tonight, so we will move on to the action items. Can I have a motion for Employee Services Resolution 80, which is the personnel update?
Motion?
Moved by Ikorst. Supported by Dr. Demas. Are there any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The next one is Technology Resolution 81, which is the desktop computer replacement proposal.
Motion.
Moved by Mr. Antoine, supported by Mr. Connor. Any questions or concerns? No. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
I will be abstaining. Moving on to the Facilities Resolution 82, which is Administration Building Furniture Proposal. This is the one that was in your board packet, not to exceed, so Phase 1 is in there, 2 and 3 have give a little bit of wiggle room, so not to exceed $395,000 from the 2021 facilities bond.
Motion.
Support.
Moved and supported. Rice and Ikorst. Any questions or concerns? No. Seeing none, signify, or all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed. Motion carries. Moving on to board discussion for the good of the district. Is there anybody that has anything?
I got a couple things.
Okay.
Gus and his wife, we went to the Armada dinner, and they were talking about MISD on November 2nd is going to have story time. If you want to go over there, I'll send a flyer to Todd tomorrow. And then thank you for sending me the conference in Lansing. It was very good. And I appreciate you sending me. And thank you.
All right. Anyone else? Seeing none, public.
Mrs. Bonick,
Oh.
I am compelled to share something with the folks here tonight and those who might see it this weekend. I've been a pretty avid sports fan for a long time.
Oh, I know what he's going to say.
And Saturday
that.
morning, I had the opportunity to go to the cross-country regionals.
Oh, okay.
I'm also known to be a mildly competitive person, and so I think in all the time that I've participated and followed and coached sports, what I saw Saturday was literally the most dominating performance I think I've ever seen. Our girls cross-country team, when you enter into one of these meets, and of course this is the regional meet, trying to get to the state finals, you enter 7 girls to run, and 6 of them actually score. And in this meet, the top 3 teams, based on their overall score, move on to the finals, and I think it's the top 25 runners. Our girls' team our 7 runners finished 1st through 7th place. Wow. Literally, no other runner in the regional meet was better than any of our 7 runners. And there was a considerable distance in between the next girl and our seventh girl. And so, and what might have been the most interesting, some of these girls run this and run this rather fast, and within 2 minutes, they don't even look like they ran. And I thought what was most amazing to me was watching a reporter from the Macomb Daily attempting to conduct some interviews with these young ladies who are so humble. He literally, I heard him say twice, so-and-so is being shy. Would you help me? You know, so-and-so is being shy. Would you help me? So, and I would also say our boys team finished third and is moving on to the state finals. But there is something amazing going on. We know that they were state champions last year, and I don't want to say anything that's going to wreck the mojo leading up to Saturday. But that was amazing. And so maybe you're driving your car and you see these 8 to 10 young ladies out running. You'll know who they are because they run really well. Beep your horn and, you know, wish them good luck and congratulations. And Coach Buslip has done some amazing work over several years with our cross-country kids. But what's going on right now with our girls' team likely will be something that has never happened in the past and might be a long time before it happens again.
Yeah, it was a special program that one of my kids got to be a part of, and it was neat, and the fact that 2 of them are sisters in the top 7 even makes it more special, so good luck to them.
All right, I have Mandy Williams.
Hello,
Hello.
my name is Mandy Williams. I'm sure that you have seen some of my emails in regards to the curriculum. But I'm here to be a voice for my kids, and I'm sorry to get emotional. My daughter and my son had the same first grade teacher, and they had completely different experiences. The difference was the change in curriculum. You've seen all the first graders that were in here earlier. Do you think that it's time for them to learn about Judaism, Christianity, and Islam in school and have to compare them and know the followers, the buildings of worship, the holy books, the important holidays, the important people, and the number of gods? Second grade gets even worse. Second grade goes into Hinduism and Buddhism, and they have to watch videos in class about these gods and goddesses in depth. And they don't look like normal people. My daughter said that they look like monsters. This has caused anxiety. It has caused nightmares. My son's sitting over there. He's a good boy. He loves school. He's a leader. He wants to learn. He loved 4th grade. There was some stuff that I didn't love about the curriculum, but it interested him, and it didn't seem to bother him. It didn't disrupt his peace. About a week or so ago, they were introduced to Maya, Aztec, Inca. I learned about that stuff in high school. I did not learn about human and blood sacrifices. I did not learn about death rituals. The stuff that they are learning is deep and it's dark. My son didn't want to be in school. He missed 3 days because he had anxiety about not wanting to be there, even though he had my permission, his father's permission, and Mrs. Van's permission to be excused from class. He didn't want to stand up and say, "Oh, excuse me, this is bothering me." So he sat through it and then unloaded when he got home. This stuff is not okay. You had 2nd graders this year running around with Hindu dots on their forehead. People take their religion very serious. That is something that they use as a spiritual thing. 2nd graders shouldn't be running around with Hindu dots on their forehead, just like when they learned about Christianity, they shouldn't have given the class, they didn't give the class crosses to run around with. This is just stuff that I'm not understanding. I've asked for it to be looked into. I've asked for it to be removed. If it's not going to be removed, you need to allow people to opt out. The only reason why I know about this stuff is because I asked for the videos that the children watched I got the link to the curriculum, so I went through all of it.
So you're
And I've seen it for
almost at-
myself.
You're at 3 minutes, so if
Okay.
you can just.
So I want to encourage parents to look into the curriculum, because when I talk to parents, they say, oh no, my kids did not learn about that. Nothing comes home. So this is what the kids are being exposed to, and it's disrupting their peace. And they're not wanting to be in school. And they have a long future here in Romeo. So I wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of that and ask, please, if you're not going to remove it, allow us to opt our children out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, can I have a motion to go into closed session?
Support.
Moved by Dr. Demas, supported by Mr. Antoine. Can I have roll call?
Mr. Antoine?
Yes.
Ms. Sponick?
Yes.
Mr. Connor?
Yes.
Dr. Demas? Mrs. Eichhorst?
Yes.
I'm a yes.
And we won't be coming out to make any decisions. You're welcome to stay, but there won't be any action after the closed session.